Okay, so we're going for our second burn with our buried solo stove. We've got it loaded. We're doing the top-down approach because that's what I've been doing for the last year or so with the solo stove, is top-down, and I've gotten smokeless starts, really. Maybe a little bit of smoke at the start. Yesterday, when we lit this for the first time, we got a little bit of smoke, so we loaded it again this time. So let's do it, Max. Light her up. We'll document it here. See how it does. There you go. No, that's a one match light right there. We're just gonna do some live coverage here, real time, so you can see how it does with the smoke, aka airflow. We're definitely getting more smoke than I usually get on the light up, so I think that there is less airflow coming from below. And just to talk slightly and a little bit about the top light approach, the reason why the top light approaches, or the top light approach works so well with the solo stove is because it's a gasifier, and the idea is to load the stove completely full just below the holes, and we're a little higher than we should be. And then just start lighting it on top, and it just burns down and does a great job. It kind of seems counterintuitive for fire starting, but it works great for the solo stove because it's a gasifier. Our smoke's died down, and I don't think that has anything to do with it being a solo stove. By the way, you can get smokeless fires without a solo stove, without a smokeless fire pit. It's possible. I think it's just you just need good heat and airflow, and you'll have, and seasoned wood, dry wood, and you'll have a smokeless fire. So the gas fire just has a couple benefits in that it's phenomenal airflow and creates a downward suction of sorts. This sucks down any wasted gases, aka smoke, and burns it again. And it happens in part through the secondary burn, and just happens. So I think we loaded it a little too full. It'd be nice if it was a couple inches lower. I know, fire's kind of become a rocket science, I guess. So our little teepee had some bark, basically the back side of the bark of walnut kind of shreds out and find little things, little hairs. See, here's some right here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. See, this kind of like the hole of a coconut. Anyways, so that's what we've got going underneath there, underneath the teepee, and also some phone book paper. I mean, who uses phone books? I do. I use them for fire starting. And so underneath there, we've just got a crosshatch of wood. Some of it's cut, some of them are limbs, some of them have been chopped, so there's exposed edges. It's easier for the fire to catch a frayed or fibrous side or length of wood. I don't know how to describe it. I don't have a vocabulary for this kind of thing. It's just a primal. It's just what I do. Alright, I'm just gonna say it. We've got no smoke. And there was some smoke on the startup at the TP. It's probably the paper smoking, to be honest. And this is just speaking to my concern and the concern that my fire ring that I buried is restricting airflow, and it doesn't seem to be. There's a little bit of smoke kind of generating, but it seems to be being pulled in to the flame. At this juncture, we're getting a slight breeze. And my fire ring here that I buried, I had it made to fit the dimensions of the Solo Stove Yukon, the original 30-incher, so that it would allow about 1.5 inch clearance all around. And the Solo Stove is actually sitting on the Solo Stove stand, which is sitting on 1-inch bricks, like paper brick kind of things, stacked too high, so about the height of a normal brick. And then underneath that is maybe a little over 2 inches of crushed gravel. And then around the perimeter of the ring, we have a more coarse, I guess we'll just say it, it's lava rock, but it's about the size of a nickel in diameter, that size of lava rock. And my landscape all throughout here is pea-sized lava rock, which I love, by the way. Which I love it. Okay, we're doing actual time here. The fire's spreading out into the rest of the wood. We still don't have any smoke. Again, encouraging me in this project, worried there would not be enough airflow. The fire ring that I've installed is 1/4 inch thick, which should be thick enough to create the protection that rust can give to the inner core of steel. I don't know, but I think it will be fine. And the thing I like about the lava rock being up against the side, especially a coarser lava rock, so that the water isn't just kind of pooling against the steel, it's draining down. So the steel, I mentioned the Solo Stove sitting on its stand and on top of bricks. The steel ring is also sitting on those bricks. So, and the bricks are spaced out, kind of like a star pattern. What would you call it? Just kind of every, in a circle they're spaced around, kind of like our chairs here. And so between the bricks, there's, lots of space, room. So I think that even if we get some good water, some good rain going down in there, I think it's gonna pool below the steel. And we've got this steel ring over here. Let me bring your attention over here to the left. This big steel plate's 3/16 thickness. It's pretty heavy. It'll sit on top of that and keep a large amount of the moisture out of it overlaps the ring by about, I don't know, 2 inches all around, and maybe 1.5 inches. So there'll be a little bit of a shelter there to keep water from going down in. So I just got a little fire here right now, but the top light approach is working really well. This is the second burn, like I mentioned, with the buried Solo Stove Yukon. The first start up yesterday, I had quite a bit of smoke for the first probably 5 minutes, and then it cleared out. It was probably just a crappy piece of wood or something. Maybe it was rotting or full of just moisture or something like that. But getting a little bit of smoke coming off right now, but not enough to cause concern. It's nothing out of the ordinary at this point of the burn. We're at 11 minutes here. Sorry, this is super boring. Or is it? Or is it? So I'm gonna pause this and get back to you so you can see the last 2 or so minutes when we've got a secondary burn. We've been burning for 20 minutes now, and the wood is fully engulfed, but we don't have our secondary burn yet, so we're not at full efficiency and full flame. There's one thing I've noticed is that the flame is not as tall. Now I know it's because I buried it in the ground, so it's not as tall. As you're sitting in the chair, it's the flame is usually at eye height, you know, about over here. But I buried it in the ground, and one of the reasons I did it is so that it could keep our feet warm, and it does keep our feet warm. So mission accomplished there. I'll give it a few more minutes to develop its secondary burn, and I'll close in the closing minute the final thoughts about the second burn. At this point in the burn, my still firing is cold to the touch. So therefore, the earth is cool at this point. I do know that it does get hot though. It looks like we've got the workings of the beginning of a secondary burn, meaning the smoke and flame is coming out the upper holes, igniting the gases that's in the smoke. Just something I've observed was I do think there is some restricted airflow. I know it might sound common sense, but the reason why it does operate a little differently. Again, I've been smokeless, so just to reiterate, smokeless. But except for on startup, the TP I started, it smoked a little bit at the beginning, as you saw. But if you can't see or hear, it's kind of going whoo, 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 whoo. You can hear the air flowing through there going whoo, 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 whoo. I don't know how to imitate it. And I think that I do think that it kind of indicates that there is a change in airflow, but it's not really affecting the efficiency of the stove. So anyways, fun times. Have a good one.